Hello everyone, I am the Leech, bringing you Game 3 here between the blue Protoss, as I'm going to call him again, Robin's Egg Blue, because that's just such a pretty name for a color, and really I have no idea what color that is. Regardless, our Robin's Egg Blue Protoss here in the bottom left corner is going to be aTnSocke, and he'll be facing the red Zerg in the bottom right corner. It does say Liquid Huck, and this is OGSZenio playing on Liquid Huck's account. The series is currently tied at 1-1. We had two very good games here, and this map here is going to be Typhon Peaks. Typhon Peaks is a newer map on the Blizzard ladder that they've recently thrown out. Pretty standard map. It is very large. All the new maps that they're coming out with seem to be very macro-oriented. A lot of the new GSL maps are just ginormous maps that have huge distances between each other. Typhon here, like I said, it's pretty standard stuff. It does have a close natural expansion for each player. There are a lot of entrances to the natural. Some rocks here that you can, debris, sorry, that you can break down and get to the natural this way. Come through the main path right here, and also through this ramp down here to destroy these destructible rocks. You can also come up this way. So both players, it looks like aTnSocke is going to be going for his gateway at the ramp again. He'll go his gateway, cybernetics core, zealot block off there, and he is getting his first gas down. We are going to see a spawning pool first for OGSZenio with a little bit later gas, so probably not going to go instant speed. Probably going to be seeing a fairly early roach warren from him again, and we'll see if we have any crazy tech plays again. Last game, aTnSocke decided to throw down a Stargate while the drone was in his base, but he knew a stalker was coming out and he was going to be able to kill that drone. So while the Stargate was being made, he killed the drone, canceled the Stargate, and then got hallucination and sent a Phoenix out, hallucinated Phoenix out to the Zerg base, and Zenio actually threw down some spore crawlers. So it was a good move by aTnSocke to cause some static defense that really wasn't needed. Zenio still was able to come back and win the game there. Do see the second dash coming down for aTnSocke, cybernetics core on the way. And a queen coming out for Zenio. Still no expansion yet, but he'll probably be going out to get that soon. He looks like he's favoring these, getting a few Zerglings first just to make sure that there's not going to be any pylon blocking at the natural. aTnSocke is going to scout this natural expansion, and this probe might go down. As you can see, he's moving these, Zenio's moving these Zerglings up to the left here, that he could get a few extra hits in on that probe. As you can see, the warp gate is being chrono boosted. Seen a third gateway come out here. Second gateway come out here. Boy, I am on a roll. I'll tell you what. Also a sentry coming out here for the second unit. This probe is going to be able to run through the Zealot and get back into the main, and this Zergling is going to have to retreat and catch up with his buddies. This drone probably is going to get through and do some scouting if the Zergling goes up first to tank a hit or two. And as you can see, these two Zerglings are going to go up, distract this Zealot, and the drone is going to run into the main. Oh, beautiful force field. He does not want to be scouted right now. We do have a Stargate coming down, so he's going 2-gate Stargate here, and he really doesn't want the Zerg to see that. He is playing a lot of mind games here with Zenio. Last game, Zenio saw a Stargate that was canceled. The first game, he did actually take damage from a Stargate play. That was a Forge Fast Expand in a Stargate. So Zenio probably a little bit worried about what's going to happen here. We could see him throw down some spore crawlers that he might not usually do, just because he doesn't want to lose to that early air pressure again that he was not able to hold off before. Warp Gate research almost finished, and another sentry coming out for the Protoss. Protoss like to get these sentries early so their energy can build up, and later in the game, if they do a push, they'll have more force field available to them instead of bringing them in late game. Zergling's trying to come up and just poke and see what they can see. Anything that aTnSocke is going to let him see, he'll take. Now warping these in. 2 warp gates, have 1 void ray on the way, being chrono boosted out. Multiple drones on the way for Zenio, and an evolution chamber coming down as well. Another sentry coming out. So a very sentry heavy build here for our Protoss, sentries and zealots, which is actually often units they will get at the beginning when they're going for a Stargate play, and I'm sure that Zenio knows this and might just be expecting the Stargate, even though he hasn't seen it yet. Sentries are kind of moving out a little bit with the zealots here in tow. Probably not going to be doing a push just yet. Maybe when that Void Ray comes out, they'll do some poking. There's a Spore Crawler coming down here for Zenio, so he is a little bit worried about that play, and he's making the right decision and throwing down some things. He does need another one up at his main, though, where he does not have one. One Void Ray versus a Kree, this Void Ray even can win almost every time. He'll just back off when his shields go down, or if the Phoenix come in and pick up the Queen. But it looks like it isn't going to be needed. That Void Ray is charged up. He's going to finish off that Queen. He's going to start doing massive pressure on all these drones. 2 Queens coming in, though. This is going to back off the Void Ray a little bit, make him slightly concerned. One is lifted up, but that was kind of a useless lift because the Void Ray is still low on health. He's still not going to be able to do any damage to it. 2 more Spore Crawlers coming down for the Zerg player. We do have an expansion down for the Protoss and a Forge coming up, so he can get some static defense there with his cannons and also get his upgrades for his ground units. The Spore Crawler's moved a little more forward here. Layer coming down at the expansion, and a Spore Crawler here in the mineral line. I'm sure he's got another one in the mineral line up here. He is getting 3 gas now. 2 gas are on the way. He already had 1. And has another Queen coming out to help defend against this. 3 more gateways on the way for Socke. Might be doing a large 2 base, go into robotics and start getting Colossi. These ground upgrades are really good for the Colossi as well because they benefit them, so a transition isn't too abnormal. And a lot of pro Protosses have actually been doing Void Ray Colossi pushes, which can be very deadly if not prepared for correctly. The Zerg is oftentimes worried about making too many Corruptors to counter the Colossi, and so if they don't make enough and Void Rays come in, that can be really dangerous for them. Zenio is droning up very hard here. 7 drones on the way, getting some upgrades, getting the Hydralisk Den down. Socke is starting to switch into warping Stalkers here, as he knows that Corruptors later on, if he does decide to go Colossi, can be a big pain in his butt. This Voider here just coming to pick off Zerglings. Not the best Zergling killer, as they run very quickly and the Void Ray can't get too many hits off here. Protoss army is starting to move out, so he could decide to apply some pressure. Got the proxy pylon going down here. Sentries are all at almost full energy, so that's going to be a lot of force fields he's going to be able to throw down. Phoenix and Void Ray combination can be very deadly if they're not ready for it. And he can just send these units in to try and take out this Spore Crawler. You can see he's taken all his drones up to his main because he does not want to risk losing anything here. This Spore Crawler is going to go down, and his air units can be able to move in and start doing damage to this layer here. Another hatchery, 2 hatcheries even, coming down here. One is completed in the top right and one going down there. This second Spore Crawler is going to go down. We have a Roach Warren coming down for OGSZenio. More units being warped in here for Socke. This layer is going to go down, and that can be a big pain. He's throwing constant force fields up here just to make sure he's not going to get rushed by anything. Zergling's going in possibly for a counterattack. Not sure how well they're going to be able to do. There is a decent amount of forces here that are going to be able to block off the ramp. Void Ray is coming back. He's going to start doing damage to those Zerglings. Roachborn is going to go down, and Zenio is in between a rock and a hard spot here. Not sure how he's going to be able to pull this off. He does have the Hydralisk Den down. He is getting some upgrades for him. He's going to try and pump out a few. It looks like he's got 5 Hydras out already. 1 more on the way, and more Zerglings on the way. This is a pretty sizable army, though, and as you can see, he's down. He's actually up in supply right now by about 7. But if we take a look at the unit composition, he does have 23 more drones. Gosh, my math is getting better all the time. It's amazing. So 23 more drones means he is going to have a much smaller army here than the Protoss. Zerg's trying to come up and do some poking, but there's 5 Zealots here, 2 Sentries, and a Stalker. They're not really going to be able to get into that base. These 2 bases up here for Zenio have finished, and I'm sorry, Socke is not aware of those 2 bases, so kind of a sneaky play by him, and if he can survive long enough here in his main base, that could come back to bite Socke in the butt. We'll see what he decides to do there, and if he's going to go scout around and take a look at what's going on. These bases are starting to get saturated slowly but surely. And the Zerg now pushing out to try and wipe up this army from the Protoss. More Zerglings coming in from the back, and he is going to be able to at least make them all run away. Killing a large amount of Stalkers here with these Hydralisks. They move very quickly on the creep, and these Zerglings are going to be able to take out these last 2 Stalkers. So now here's the interesting part of the game where we see what the players are going to start going to next, if they're going to stick with what they have already started. Nothing coming out of the Stargate right now. Spire coming down for the Zerg, and sacked Overlord coming in here, or might not even get sacked, trying to come and take a look at all the buildings that are down so you can know what to expect. Most Zergs are very reactionary players. We are seeing another hatch coming down at this natural expansion here, trying to replace that layer that he lost. He did warp this one in his main to a layer. Do have a Roach Warren coming down again, and here's his Spire coming down in his main. Not too much here going on. Hydralisk coming up to this expansion to take out this Void Ray. The Void Ray did spot this extra base, and the drones did pull away for a bit. These Hydras are probably going to be able to take out this Void Ray. It doesn't have much health and isn't being microed. Another push coming out from the Protoss with a large amount of sentries with full energy. Stalkers and Zealots here, or as some people call them, Zealots, which drives me completely insane. They're Zealots. Look it up. Zealots, not Zealots. It's not T, it's Zealots. 9 roaches coming out for the Zerg player, and this hatchery almost finished here. Protoss deciding just to try and push right up into the main. There's a Spine Crawler here. Really not going to slow him down too much. That's a lot of Stalkers and Zealots and Sentries that he has there. But more roaches are going to be popping out. Zenio really needs to be careful about how he makes this attack. He really needs to bunch up a bunch of units together and then push all at the same time to take these units out effectively, and without just slowly giving him roaches here 2 at a time. There's another Queen coming out here to try and combat this. Beautiful force fields going down, making sure that if the roaches do try to attack, they're not going to be able to come all at the same time. Roach is trying to just get in, pick off a few units, and back out again, so reinforcements come in. He's going to keep this force field down here, though, and choking off the Zerg supply like that can be killer. Spire goes down, Hydralisk Den down. Not looking too good for Zenio here. Supplies really not telling the story so well. 98 for the Zerg and 85 for the Protoss. If you look at the unit counting station, though, 26 of the supply counts for drones. So once again, the Protoss has probably a 10 supply bigger army than the Zerg does. Zenio trying to just stay alive here. Going to be losing his layer again, and that's going to be a big hit. He's trying to throw down a Macro Hatch here, a Roach Warren, a Hydralisk Den, and a Spawning Pool to start getting all his structures up again. That was smart of him to know that he's going to lose those buildings and to start building them before waiting for everything to go down. This group of units is going to come and try and take out. He does leave 3 Hydralisks behind due to those force fields, but these Roaches and Hydralisks are going to be able to clean up this army here. No force fields left, and Hydra's very strong against Stalkers. We'll see if the damage has been done, though. Losing all those hatcheries that he just did really can take a toll against the Zerg. Zerg is in a decent supply lead here, 102 to 65. He does have 16 Roaches out on the map, 4 Hydralisks to 10 Stalkers, 5 Sentries, and 3 Zealots and a Phoenix. So we could see an interesting push here. From the Protoss, he's going to be going up to the North Hatch here that he spotted with his Void Ray to try and take this out. Zenio is going to try and cut him off here. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get there in time. These units will be able to drop this hatch very quickly. Zergling's running into the Zealots there. Not a place they want to be. They decided to start backing up and trying to cut off some reinforcements. Big push here coming in from the Zerg to try and attack. A lot of force fields coming down, splitting that army perfectly in half. That was absolutely beautiful. Roach is trying to run away, but taking a lot of damage as they go on. More force fields coming down to prevent that running. That was a beautiful force field. These units still unable to attack. The second half of the army comes in, gets cut in half again. Very beautiful force fields by Socke here. I don't expect anything less than that. He's a fantastic player. Socke is going to continue pushing in, trying to do more damage to this hatch. It is getting very low on health. These units are all back unburrowed now, just starting to move in. More force fields coming down, trying to just slow that down so they can go around and pick off these drones, no problem. Supplies for both players being cut down immensely, but Socke is actually not looking too hot right now. 45 supply against 104 supply, so it looks like Zenio took his hatch at his natural again for the 3rd time this game, and also taking a hatch just to the north here of his